Just some injury updates from Saturday. Jaquan right now I would say is probably questionable to doubtful going into Saturday's game. Right now we'll know a lot more today in practice. It was very limited yesterday in practice. We'll know more. But other than that, Kane back to what I would say is close to 100%. Tariq Milton certainly is fine. Practice and will be 100% for the game. And Colin Newell's the other one, and I probably know a lot more after today's practice than maybe what I knew yesterday, but probably is more like questionable for this game coming up. TCU, obviously a lot of respect for. I think probably one of the most talented teams right now in our conference across the board. They, very veteran defense. Obviously, as we know, Coach Patterson, outstanding on the defensive side of the football. Got some guys back up front from a year ago that were out. Doing a great job defensively, and then on the offensive side of the football, really skilled and veteran offensive line, probably the most veteran offensive line in our conference. Certainly two outstanding senior running backs, and then Max Dugan taking over at quarterbacks. Max done a great job coming in as a young quarterback, really talented football players we know as well. So with that said, I'll open up the questions you guys have for me.
What does playing?
Playing live, yeah. I think we're really fortunate that that's an area where we've got great depth, and like I said, Randy, I think the one thing about Zach is he's played the best of all of our defensive linemen up to this date anyway. So, Jaquan is a leader on our football team. Jaquan is a guy that if he's not able to play, I know Jaquan can still make a huge impact on this football team. But one way or another, no matter how it shakes out, that's an area where if we would have somebody go down, we feel really confident that the next man up will do a great job for us.
How would you assess your running game so far through the?
Yeah, I think it's really hard just because the games have been so different. Obviously the Baylor game was, we got behind early in the football game. We had to play a different style offense, through the second, third, fourth quarter of the game. But, I think we're more consistent than we've been. Are we as consistent as we need to be? Probably not. But again, I think it's an area for us where we've got a lot of confidence in what we can do. Again, I think through the first three games, I'd say I was really confident. Obviously, in the fourth game, how that game played out, it was a little bit different. So I think the tail of the season and the next couple of games will hopefully tell us a lot more about where we're at in our running game. Guy that I've got great confidence in just because of that trust factor. I think he's a guy that when his number's been called, he's always been able to be the most consistent guy. I still think there's really good competition there right now at the running back spot. I think practice is really important, and who practices the best is going to get the best opportunities come Saturday. So, until somebody really separates themselves from the rest of the pack, I think it's hard to just come out and say that's our guy. But Johnny's one of those guys that's got elite trust by all of our coaches in our program.
We've all talked a lot about the success you guys have had over the last 2 years. When you look at that, do you see it as coincidence or a fluke of circumstance, or is there something about the trajectory of the season that has you guys playing better or your best football after 4 or 5 weeks?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know. I think every year is so different, and you look back on the last couple of years where I do think the common trend for us is we've gotten better every game. And one of the things I really like about this team and my confidence in this team is this team has gotten better. And so I think that's a common trend for us, is that you see our team continue to get better as the season goes. But a little bit of it is counting it on wins and losses is tough, because obviously that's your job and everybody else's job. But like my job is, are we getting better all the time? And I really see this team and have seen our teams over the last 3 years really get better as the season goes on. And all I do know is that gives you a chance to win football games as the season continues to wear on. So, probably a little bit of happenstance and a little bit of, the Iowa State Cyclone football team gets better as the season goes. And if we can continue to do those things, you hope to continue to put yourself in great situations to have success. So, good question.
Kind of a two-part here. That's a true question.
No, I'm a big fan of Max. I was through the recruiting process. Got to know Max, his family really well. Got a great dad. Dad obviously is high school football coach. He got great success over there. Led his team to the Dome. They did a lot of great things. So, you know, for Max, you know, it's a lot of respect of who he is, and him going somewhere else doesn't change my appreciation for who he is. And, you know, I think the thing about watching Max is you watch him continue to do the things that I thought was really impressive in high school. He never panics, plays with really good poise, and you can see him being a great asset to that team because they've got a lot of great skilled players as well as those two great running backs. And so you see him have the ability to distribute the football when it's time to distribute the football. And so I think he's been a huge asset to them in terms of their offensive production, how they're doing things, and I think he'll only continue to do great things for that offense and that football team.
Matt, as a teacher first and
As you said, Matt, you guys have a really young group this year, and you only have 2 3-and-outs on the season. How much does that help you, and what's it say about this group?
Yeah, you know, I think those values are good values. Obviously, at the end of it, you want to score points, and that becomes probably the greatest value you can have. But I think you'll want to see growth. And to me, in 4 games, we've seen great growth on the offensive side of the football. You know, and doing it with a young quarterback and doing it, you know, with some young skill players around them. But there's still a lot of growth to continue to grow. And that part's going to be really fun to watch this group continue to take ownership of what it's got the ability to become. So, you know, I enjoy watching that group continue to grow right now. It's really fun from my end of it to watch that group take ownership of what they're doing.
On the third down defense.
Shoot, yeah, that guy's good. You know, you know, and I think you know it playing TCU, it's one of those deals for them that they are outstanding on the special team side of things. And, you know, in their return game, both their kickoff return and their punt return game, they do a great job. And so the number one thing is we're going to have to prepare to do a great job in our coverage units and tackling. No matter what you say about how you directional punt or want to do that, the fact of the matter of there's still opportunity for those guys to make plays on the ball and do things with the ball in their hands. And, you know, especially in the punt game, I think that's a great challenge. So for this group, we're going to have to be our best, and that's something that I think we know that going into it, and continuing to find ways to make sure our coverage units are in position to be successful, and then when we're in position to make great plays on the ball.
in the running game, how important is it to find balls?
Yeah, you know, I know we talked a little bit about that earlier. I just think it's one of those situations where you hope part of it is that our football team has gotten better as the seasons have wore on the last couple of years. But I also think it's one of those situations where, you know, you want to be playing your best football as November comes around, and hopefully that's something that this team can continue on going forward.
Where do Jaquan and Reese kind of fit the running back situation? Is there still room for possibly redshirting both those guys?
I don't know. That's a good question. We got 5 guys, I think 5. Sheldon, Kane, Johnny, Reese, and Jaquan. And all 5 go to practice every day, and the best players play on Saturday. And those guys get a lot of reps. So, you know, I don't foresee those 5 players not being in the mix to go to practice every day and not be the best player for this team to be successful. And so, honestly, you know, I see those 5 guys continue to compete every day. And that's maybe something we can think about maybe at the end of October. But, boy, you know, the competition's too close to count anybody out right now.
All right, Coach, thank you.
All right.
Thanks.